Everybody, the lecture hall doors have opened. Come on out of that Salem University quad. Come on in. This is Days of Our Lives 101, Days for Dummies. Get in here. Get in here. Hey, it's me, Matt. Hi. Hey.
Join us, everybody.
I'm here with Angela. Angela, lead soapoperanews.net aficionado reporter, a wordsmith. 10 steps ahead of us at all times, and proves that each and every week on the 10th floor.
I do what I can. I don't have much of a life, so I have tons of time to watch my soaps and delve into them over and over again.
Well, I definitely appreciate it because I have been watching Days of Our Lives for the last 2 weeks, and it has been super wackadoodle crazy. And as we have said, and people have told me on Twitter as well, super normal. Absolutely regular for Days of Our Lives. So we have insane nurses who have drugged the former mayor Abe, I guess, into some sort of comatose state where he thinks that she is his wife Paulina.
Abe is actually the current mayor.
The current mayor, Abe. See, there we go. That's why we're here. Hey.
Yes.
Okay, so Abe, the current mayor, who I guess they think is dead. So all that's going on. Then we got Brady and Kristen, who just at the heat of whatever it is that's been going on between the two of them. This thing has been, I don't know if it's never been hotter, but it is on fire right now between the two.
It is.
And where's Rachel going to wind up?
I don't know. Brady kind of stepped in it a little bit.
He sure did. Pulling guns on people. Speaking of guns, the gun shop is in business in Salem. Okay, we got Brady who's swiping it from his dad. We've got this other person who I don't even know the name of yet.
Gabby.
Pulling a gun on that one dude.
Lee. Her ex-husband, yes.
So, goodness gracious. So life is in danger every day in Salem as well. So.
Absolutely. But the best thing about your life being in danger in Salem is that literally no one stays dead.
Oh, okay. So
you can see them die on screen and their loved ones sob over their bodies. Open casket funeral. They were cremated. They're coming back.
Okay. All right.
They're coming back.
Every time. There is no death in the land of Salem, Oregon, Massachusetts, Soapland,
Illinois.
USA.
Salem, Illinois.
Okay.
It was, for a long time, it was just some vague Midwestern town.
Right. Like Springfield.
And then for a little while, exactly. It seemed for a little while, maybe it was in New England or the Northeast, but then they went back to the Midwest, and now Chicago is a bus ride away.
Okay.
And they have confirmed now that Salem is the Salem in Illinois.
So they're going to follow the Chicago side of the river and that's
yes. Yes.
I get it totally. Well, we've got some classmates in here already. Kelly is here. Hi, Kelly. Jeannie is here. Estee is here. So far, that's it. That's participating by raising their hands and saying present. But if you're hanging
I like it. I like it.
Say hi. Say hi.
Mm-hmm.
So Estee doesn't know much about Days of Our Lives either. So this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good for me. It's gonna be good for Estee. It's gonna be good for anybody who's new to Days of Our Lives and also new to soap operas in general. Because I titled this, parentheses, how to watch a soap opera, because there is a particular, I don't know, suspension of disbelief, an agreement, an unspoken agreement between audience and showrunners, I guess, as to how you're going to expect things to unfold.
Yes.
We don't have amnesia happening in Salem that I have seen, other than, super being drugged. But I would say that's being drugged more than I bumped my head type of stuff.
Well, when Abe first woke up, because he was bashed over the head with a rolling pin.
Okay.
When he first woke up, he had no memory of who he was. So, and as he had started,
so funny.
It was really funny. His stepdaughter owns a bakery.
Okay, is that Lonnie?
And him and Paulina were there. Chanel.
See,
Lonnie is his actual daughter.
Oh my
him and Paulina is his actual daughter. But his stepdaughter Chanel, Paulina's daughter, owns a bakery, and they were there with what they thought was the health inspector, but he was actually a guy out for revenge against Paulina and Chanel.
Gosh.
And he bashed Abe over the head with a rolling pin in the bakery. Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, okay. You know, we got a prop. It's heavy. It's solid. We've seen it many times on I Love Lucy.
Hmm.
You know, I'm with it. I'm with it. You know, so when it comes to that particular story that we've been watching, that little subsection of plot, because this show is very carved out, it seems, when it comes to what they're going to be focusing on, for several days at a time.
Yes.
And then they'll put that aside and they'll focus on something else for several days at a time, and then they'll come back to it. It's nice. I mean, I find that pacing to be pretty enjoyable,
Hmm.
because I don't quite miss what they had just done because I'm still kind of engaged
Yes.
in what they're doing. But it hasn't been so long that I've forgotten what's going on in the other stories.
Yeah, still follows the pretty traditional soap opera pacing with the rotation of stories, which I
Hmm.
like because you
Okay.
don't go weeks.
See, so for me, from my perspective, like if this is your first time coming to the channel, and never seen the 10th Floor podcast that I do with my mom every Sunday morning, um, I'm pretty much like 6 years solid on General Hospital, so that sort of soap presentation is what I'm very used to seeing.
Mhm.
And I have some, some history from being a kid. You know, like soaps has always been a part of my life. There's been summers that I've seen things, but when it comes to like really paying attention and knowing what's going on a very regular basis, or how to expect the beats that are coming, or what to just when it comes to just being soap watcher, I'm very new. Uh,
Mhm.
so this pacing is refreshing kind of to me, just in
Yes.
how they're approaching it. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Kelly doesn't want us to forget about the guns of Harris Michaels.
Harris Michaels has some guns. And speaking of Harris Michaels, I interviewed him on Tuesday.
Oh,
I did. I had an interview with Steve Burton last Tuesday. It's up on our soapoperanews.net page
okay.
and all of our social medias, and it was very interesting. And Friday was Steve Burton's 35th anniversary in daytime.
Oh,
He
congratulations to
actually
Steve Burton.
started on Days of Our Lives first as this character Harris Michaels in 1988, July 21st, 1988. He aired first. He was only on for a few weeks. It wasn't a big arc. He was bad guy.
Hmm.
He was in high school at the time. He
Yeah.
played a bad guy high schooler. And then he left and popped up as Jason Quartermain, morphed into Jason Morgan, left there and was Dylan McAvoy in Young and the Restless, came back as Jason Morgan, and then reemerged as Harris Michaels
After all these years.
on Beyond Salem. And then they moved him
Yes.
over to the Mothership, as Days of Our Lives fans call the regular
The
show.
regular show. Yeah, yeah.
Because we have the spin-offs, the Beyond Salems and a very Days Chris or a very Salem Christmas and stuff. But the Mothership is just the daily show that airs on Peacock starting at 6 a.m. Monday through Friday.
It's important because I remember when CSI did all the spin-offs, CSI Miami and CSI New York and all that kind of stuff. And then when you tried to refer to the original one, you're like, oh, I'm watching CSI today. And they're like, which one? And you
Which
have to
one?
be like, the one with Grissom.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I do remember that. I do remember seeing the Twitter buzz
Mm-hmm.
about Steve Burton coming to Beyond Salem to reprise this character of Harris Michaels, I guess, who had been off the show for that entire
Since
time that you had been
1988.
describing.
Yeah.
So yeah, nobody's ever really gone then, are they? If you had played somebody at some point in the past, you get a chance.
The latest villain who just left, Megan Hathaway, she was off the show for 37 years.
Holy smokes!
And the last time we saw her, she had been electrocuted in a hot tub.
But she's fine. She's okay. She
And we
recovered.
thought she was really most sincerely dead.
No, she
But here we
recovered.
go.
She's fine. She's good.
It
Well,
was great.
how did you? Well, okay, that's very curious. Well, so that would be one of the most recent long-term deaths to have been erased in the history of Days of Our Lives. So how did they go about that? Did they have some fun explanation for it, or did she just walk back into town?
Well, her father was Stefano DiMera,
But isn't
who was
everybody's dad Stefano DiMera?
a lot of people's dad, Stefano DiMera. Yes, he's like Sonny Corinthos, only all of his kids somehow live to become adults at the very least. But Stefano's nickname was the Phoenix
Okay,
because he would die
kept coming back.
and rise again. So it was explained that, she hadn't really died. Dad brought her back to life in cryogenic state until she could be healed. And yeah,
Okay. All right. So some sort of way. Just like the end of All My Children, Dr. David Hayward happened to be collecting these people over the last several years to experiment with his new life-saving drug that will save somebody on the very brink of death.
Yes. With Days of Our Lives, you just kind of have to go, okay, this is what we're doing today.
Okay.
You just uh, you just have to accept it. As with a lot of soap opera,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things on soaps that it's a soap opera. You go with it.
You go with it. You take it for what it's for. I think.
Yes.
That's my intent. That's how I approach it. At least
Hmm.
that's my style. Leanne says, "Explain the phoenix." I think we did that. Stefano,
Hmm.
the man who always rose from the ashes, no matter
He
what.
rose from the
Up
ashes.
until I guess I suppose he can't come back anymore because I assume then
Yes.
the actor is no
Yes. The
longer with
actor
us.
has actually passed away.
Right.
Yes. And Days is interesting. Days films further ahead than any other show.
Yeah, there's 6 months, right?
It's 6 months ahead. There are times actors have finished their arc and gone before they ever start airing,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll start airing on other things. And it's very interesting with that.
Right. Right. Right.
And
Right. Right.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so I've noticed that you've fixated a lot with Rachel and
I,
Brady and
I
Kristen.
did. It's because that was the first episode of Days of Our Lives that I really paid attention to and watched in full. I've seen a little bit. I know who Johnny DiMera is, and that kind of stuff. I've heard of John and Marlena. I know that there was the devil plot line. I think I saw one episode like almost a year ago, but it was very dominated with some sort of like emotional repercussion by the guy who used to play Lucky. Um, Greg Vaughn, I think.
Greg Vaughn.
And
Yep.
it was
Eric
just him
Brady.
outside the bar, and it was like most of the episode of him just working through something, and I was so disconnected by what was going on that I didn't continue watching.
Yeah.
But this time around, I'm like, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna give it a week. I'm gonna really focus and pay attention and have fun with it. And so that first Monday, which was not this past Monday, but the Monday prior, where
Mhm.
Leo and Dimitri have their very whirlwind
Yes.
adventure together, ending with like Rachel, with the door
Over.
open for whatever.
Yes.
Why is the door open? Uh,
The door's always open. Doors do not close completely in Salem. Okay, they just don't. There's some weird universal.
hmm and then what really drew
Somebody's
me
telling a secret.
into
The door is open.
what really drew me into that was mostly how much Brady and Kristen have been screaming at each other. That's been fun. And what really, really, really anchored me in was saying, "This is my story right now," is how they spritz that little girl's face before every scene with those.
But she is a great little actress.
Uh, it's it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes,
It's a lot of fun.
it is.
So far I've really only heard her bring like the "I'm mad at you, Daddy. I called the police on you, Daddy" energy. So and that's all I've seen so far. Other than like I snuck out of camp. Isn't that okay, Mom?
She is her mother's daughter. Her mother was recently in prison, and one day she stole her father's phone, got herself an Uber, and went and visited mom in jail.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
So she's a little spitfire.
she is a DiMera through and through,
Oh my gosh, she's a DiMera too, of course. Of course she's a DiMera. Why would I assume that she's not? You're either a black or a DiMera, right? That's pretty much it.
or a Brady or a
Or
DiMera. But
but then there's the
there's an
dude named
interesting
Brady.
history that kind of joins that together.
But there's the guy
So when
named
John
Brady.
Black first came on the show,
Yeah.
people thought that he was actually a recast Roman Brady,
Okay.
Marlena's presumed dead husband,
Okay. Okay.
and they got original Roman back, and they did sort of a thing like they did with Jason and Drew, only
Right.
they're not related.
Okay.
John was brainwashed into thinking that he was, but him and Marlena were the true love story,
Right. Okay.
and they ended up together.
Uh-huh.
Now, before him and Marlena embarked on their happily ever after, John had other loves. Isabella was Brady's mom.
Okay.
Um, and he was very, very involved and in love and almost had a child with wait for it, Kristen DiMera.
Oh my goodness. Wait a minute.
And hold on,
Okay.
he was a young single widow with a son. And I'm going to show you a picture. One of the first back in the day of Kristen and Brady celebrating his 5th birthday.
Okay.
That is Kristen, full grown woman.
Yes.
It's blurry.
Yes.
And that is 5-year-old Brady Black, her future love and baby daddy.
Whoa. Whoa. This is the most egregious use of Sora's I've seen since the reboot of All My Children.
I've been holding this to show you for like 2 weeks now. She was played by Eileen Davidson back then, who is now on Young and the Restless, and occasionally shows up on Days still.
Do the people who watch General Hospital know that this has happened? Because I think that they might be exposed a little bit to some of the just ridiculous casting choices and character directions that have gone on and so planned over the years. Holy smokes. Okay.
And Kristen and John were a very popular couple and very much in love. She was pregnant with his child and miscarried and faked her pregnancy, didn't tell him about the miscarriage because she wanted to keep him. And Susan Banks was pregnant by Stefano at the time, and with EJ, who's now full grown, dating Nicole. And EJ's name, by the way, is Elvis. The E stands for Elvis. His mother was an Elvis fan, like real crazy. She was a great character.
That's a great soap name. I'm with Elvis.
Yes. But Kristen stole the baby and tried to pass him off as John Black Jr. Would have been Brady's baby brother. But of course, in true soap fashion, was eventually exposed.
Right.
And then, so it's a little weird.
EJ was born after Will, according to Melissa. It's Days of Our Lives. It's just what you accept. It's what you take. It's what you take from the show. They decided now Brady's 48 or however old he is.
It's
so
crazy.
The blurry picture was from when? Was it from like the early 2000s?
Late 90s.
Late 90s?
Brady was born on screen in 1992.
Okay, so basically and
Kristen premiered as an adult as Eileen Davidson in 1993.
Okay. So she just hasn't really. So he's been on a different timeline than she has been. Okay. I'll take it. I'll accept it. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's fine. I didn't see all that before anyway.
And John and Kristen were an incredibly hot couple. They really were. I totally agree.
Okay.
With the chat on that one.
Yeah.
I also love Brady and Kristen, though. I mean, it's the kind of couple that you'd never root for in real life, but in soap world, I mean, when he had that gun, I mean, those scenes where he had the gun on her, I'm sitting there going, he looks like he's going to kiss her at any second.
So, I mean, I did have a question about that. I mean, so clearly, I mean, you've totally melted my mind when it comes to how long they like known each other. That's very.
I had a feeling that one would shock you.
But pushing that from my brain, I was wondering, how is it that these two people even had a baby together? Like, was it one of those we hate each other so much we're gonna bone type of deals?
They actually had a true romance. They have gone back and forth for years.
But she's just a terrible, horrible person.
She's a DiMera, Okay.
All right. I guess that's an excuse.
She is her father's daughter, although she's not a blood DiMera. Stefano adopted her.
Okay.
Her and her brother
trained.
Peter. Yes, it's funny because the DiMera daughters are way more like their dads than the sons. Okay. The sons are a disappointment across the board. They just are, as far as true DiMera-ness.
Okay.
Leanne, we will absolutely get to Sammy, but not today. Sammy is great.
Sammy's a whole hour.
Sammy is her whole other thing. Yes, we will get to Sammy.
Okay.
But we're going to deal with things as Matt gets introduced to them.
Definitely. So, I mean, really, I only have this very small section, and I was talking to you. I don't know, Mom. I don't know. I was talking to somebody. I talked to a lot of people this week about about picking like an access character and just just really just sinking myself into this. And so but what I'm also not hindered by is anything that has ever happened to any of these characters ever before me watching it. So it's all fresh, it's all new, it's all brand spanking new. So anybody that's related to somebody and they haven't talked about it on this show yet, I don't know.
You have no
I
idea
have
who they
no
are.
clue who any of the, I mean, I mostly have no idea who any of these people are at all. But I will say, congratulations, a soap opera format in purposefully being overly educational at all times as to what their names are, what they mean to each other, who they are, all that,
Yes.
all that. And that's something that I think it was, I don't know, one of the conventions I went to or interview I read or something, where it's part of soap writing. It's what they're trained to do. You try your best to not put pronouns in there and use the characters' names as often as possible.
Yes.
To say your son-in-law will do this, that, or the other thing, rather
Mhm.
than saying he's gonna cheat on her. I don't know, whatever. Uh, so I'm thankful for that, because, for example, Lee in his
Mhm.
dinner date with, I guess, the DA, I
Yep.
suppose,
Melinda
Trask.
Trask. Yep.
Yeah,
Hmm.
see, I would have no idea why that was presented and why that was tense between the two characters and why it was slightly hopeful there at the end. If it wasn't for the spoon feeding, essentially, of the information about some of the experiences that they've had with each other.
I think that Days right now is going pretty heavy on educating new viewers because
Hmm.
with the move to Peacock, they have picked up many new viewers, which is great.
Oh, good for
It
them.
is really fabulous because it will help with the longevity of the show.
I always thought streaming was going to be really good for soaps. Just
And it
because of the binge watching
insanely.
nature of
Mhm.
audiences, like to have something brand new to watch every day on a streaming platform that is the same show, I think is incredibly valuable and kind
Mhm.
of undervalued by the people who are running streaming platforms.
Absolutely. And they were actually, the powers that be were actually surprised by how many younger viewers they've been bringing in, which is even better
Yeah,
because the average soap opera watcher age
right.
is in their late 50s, early
Yes,
60s.
my YouTube demographics are very much in that
Hmm.
in that area for sure. So
Yes.
I can confirm.
Which so it's good to bring in younger viewers as well.
Yeah.
And Days is hitting that, which is going to be great for the future of soaps because it'll encourage the other shows to make the jump to streaming and last longer as well, which I'm excited about.
And what's nice about it is that it makes you not take it seriously.
Hmm.
There's nothing about it that I feel is supposed to be any sort of real statement on reality
No,
at all. When it comes to the tangential reality that is soap operas, that one is probably the furthest from reality that I've seen. I've seen Young and the
it
Restless.
is.
I've seen Bold and the Beautiful. I've seen General Hospital. I've seen Days of Our Lives now, and Days of Our Lives is the most removed from reality.
Yes. And I mean, there was a time when we had 9 bazillion soap operas on the air.
Yeah.
So, there'd be ones that were like the others and stuff like that. But now I think each of the four we have left fall squarely in their own category.
Yeah.
And Days is firmly in the campy, fun, entertainment for entertainment's sake
Mm-hmm.
category. And I love that about it.
Mm-hmm.
I love General Hospital. I watch Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful as well. Days of Our Lives. It has a piece of my heart. I've watched it all my life because my mother was a Days viewer.
Okay. Oh.
But it is very much they're not looking for the social commentary. They're not, that's not their thing. And they don't try to make it their thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very, very fan friendly. Days loves their fans.
Well, I mean, you should be, I think, especially
Yes.
when, if you're able to like garner a fan base that is
Hmm.
in on the joke,
Yes.
has a good time watching, enjoys the villainy for its villainy, and, doesn't try to, I don't know, see themselves in it or whatever it
Yes.
is that some other approaches go out there when it comes to the other soaps. So that's great. That's super awesome.
Yes.
And I was pretty much convinced of that when they did, what was it, 4 months of devil possessions. Uh,
Oh,
Marlena's possessed, Johnny's
yeah. It
possessed,
was,
everybody's in
yeah.
a really nice suit.
Yeah. The Devil Possession is a lot of fun, and that was a great throwback because they had done it in the
Mhm.
90s
Right.
with Marlena. And John had, helped
We're gonna
exercise the
exercise
demon.
her.
Yes. Yes, exactly. John Black. Drake is a legend.
He
So
is,
many of
though.
them. I mean, so many great super couples have come out of Days. And I mean, John and Marlena, obviously, Steve and Kayla. I mean,
Hmm.
Bo and Hope. Just
Hmm.
so many. And they just had like the best super coupley moments. Steve and Kayla, when they got married, Kayla was deaf. She had been injured and was
Uh-huh.
deaf. So they're signing their wedding vows.
Oh,
And all of a sudden, in the middle of the ceremony, she regained her hearing because it's a soap
it's a
opera. And
wedding
of course
miracle.
she did.
Yes. Oh, that's
It
beautiful,
was
though. Who
fabulous.
cried? Anybody in the chat cry?
Yes.
Jeannie? Jeannie, did you cry? Be honest.
Who didn't?
Oh
Who
my
among
God.
us? Everybody. And they're just a lot of fun. And I asked Steve Burton in our interview
Hmm.
in each of the three shows what character would he have loved to have played.
Hmm.
And he rattled them off, not even thinking.
Okay.
Luke Spencer, Victor Newman, Patch.
Hatch.
Steve, which is what they used to call him, was Patch. Patch and Kayla. Now he's just Steve, which is disappointing to me. But
Well, did they decide, like, did the fans start to say it was offensive to call him Patch or something?
no,
Oh, I
they
don't know.
he
They
grew
just
up
changed
and
it.
now
Yeah.
he's,
Now he's
you
just
know,
Steve. Now he's just boring Steve.
yeah, one-eyed Santa at the Christmas party. Yeah.
Jeannie
So,
did cry. Oh, Jeannie. Oh, that's beautiful, though. I'm happy that you're really engaged with the story. That's the power of soap operas. If you really are able to suspend the disbelief and find yourself caring about the journeys that these characters have found themselves on, then it can really create some really memorable times just for your life.
mhm.
Fond memories to think back on. That maybe just belong to you, not necessarily something that you share or in this case, definitely share with other people. But, oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, I'm happy to hear that, Jeannie.
And yeah, the Days cast, they did a lot with the possession story this time around. It
Mm-hmm.
was a lot. There were a lot of people possessed. My favorite one, honestly, I love that they let Doug be possessed. I don't know if you've met Doug yet. He's
Hmm.
Julie's husband. He's been on the show since 1970. The actor's name is Bill Hayes. His wife, Susan Seaforth Hayes, plays Julie.
Okay.
And they've been married since 1970. She's been on the show since the late 60s. She's the longest running character still on the show. The longest running contract actor still on the show is the woman who plays Maggie.
I think the eldest character that seemed to be like the most established person that's been on the show was the one that was working opposite of Wally Kurth. She had like
That's
this red
Maggie.
hair.
Yep, that's Maggie.
Okay.
She's the longest contracted actress right now.
Yeah.
Susan and Bill are both recurring, but Susan, who plays Julie's been on longest. Now
Hmm.
Bill Hayes, who plays Doug, and he turned 98 years old this year.
Oh, wow. Hey.
He's still on. Not always, and very few, not tons of lines, but he was actually possessed by the devil in the
I'm
devil
gonna have to
story.
look this up. I mean,
It
it's
was
all on
great.
Peacock, right? So I can just go back and
Yes,
find that
it was
episode.
wonderful.
I'm gonna have to go and watch this Devil arc. I think it sounds
Hmm.
like it's gonna be a lot of fun, and it'll be educational too, because I'll be able to learn who some
Yes.
of these people are. Melissa says that Doug is the sweetest. His possession was so good, you can tell that he was having a ball. So
Yeah.
that's really nice. That's good. I'm glad that when I am happy to see that if somebody has dedicated their life to soaps, that they are still able to have a good time and they're given fun things to play, like that. So,
Yes.
I mean, it sounds like Days is just a great place to be, honestly. Well, that's great. Oh.
And a little trivia tidbit about Bill Hayes as well.
Hmm.
He was a singer. He actually sang the hit song, The Ballad of Davy Crockett.
Okay.
Bill Hayes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That's like over in General Hospital, John Bernardino having like this huge film career before coming over and settling down to be Dr. Hardy for
Yes.
decades.
Yep.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I have to cough
Oh.
now too.
Doug was the devil in hell too. They could try to give Steve a fake eye. Fans missed they did try to give Steve a fake eye. The fans missed the patch. I imagine that after all these years, that guy's just tired of wearing it. And also at the same time, too, you cover that eye for hours and hours and hours a day for decades over decades over decades. Your vision's going to be affected, like really and truly. So I understand it, but hey, whatever. Decisions are decisions. That's what people expect to see. Well, if he doesn't have the patch on, he's just Stefan Cassadine, right?
Yeah, something like that. His patch that he wears now is actually more comfortable, it looks like, than the one he used to have. Because the one he used to have had like the thinner strap.
It just used to just crease across his forehead, super tight.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now it's a very loose piece of material that he just
Yeah.
flips up in between every single take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
There are a
so
lot.
let us talk about John and Steve, okay? Because apparently they are the best of friends and have been for years. Because you can see just in how those two actors even just stand next to each other, you can tell that they have played a million scenes doing what they did to Jerry, who is another conversation that we're going to have once we're done talking about
Yes.
Steve and John. So always friends, enemies to friends, secret agents who have been retired.
Steve came on actually. He had been in the Merchant Marines with Bo.
Mm-hmm.
And Bo was the one who took his eye
Okay.
in a knife fight. And but they reconciled as friends. And
sometimes all you
Bo,
need to do is just fight it out, and you find
Bo
yourselves
had
the
thought
best of
that
friends.
right, that John was his brother Roman, but then it turned out that he was brainwashed to think he was. So
Right.
there was all of that. But yes, they've been friends going back a long,
Okay.
long time.
Okay. All right.
And their detective agency is Black Patch. That's what it's called. Yes.
But everybody thinks
Yeah.
it's
You
only
see
about the
what they
one
did
guy,
there,
but it's
right?
actually about both of them. It works on so many
Yes.
levels, and it's also
Yes.
so basic. I
Yes.
mean, that's good. That's good. That's good.
And ironically,
Every soap needs a good private eye. Because you can't
mhm.
rely on the cops.
Well, it's funny that you say it's so basic because Brady has a clothing company, a men's clothing company, and it's called Basic Black.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
It's just
they
black
they've
t-shirts. It's where Jason Morgan actually shops.
yeah, right, yeah,
Melissa says
yes.
that Bo is forgiven. Bo can do no wrong. I don't know Bo. I don't think Bo was on in the last 2 weeks. So, and if he was,
He
I
wasn't on
didn't
in the last two
recognize.
weeks. They did an arc. Bo died many years ago of cancer on screen in his wife's arms in the park.
But he's okay.
He's alive. Megan,
He made a full recovery, everybody.
yes. Well, although now he's in a coma because
I feel like eventually we're going to find out that he's made
his
a full
son
recovery.
Sean, the cop Sean that was fired for drinking on the job,
Yeah. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Old
he's
Detective Hardass.
Bo
Yes.
and Hope's son, and he's drinking because he shot his father because he thought his father was going to hurt his mother because he thought his father was still brainwashed.
Got it.
So Bo's in a coma. Sean feels real bad and is drinking.
And so he's drinking about it and being belligerent about it, too. He's like, who
Yes.
cares? Who cares? I can
Yes.
drink on the job. I only had one. You think I'm impaired? Well, the way that you're bucking up to me, yeah, I think that you're not making good choices right now.
Yes.
Maybe you're suspended with pay or something. I don't know. Whatever. They're always suspended with pay, right? And then we also
Yeah.
Rafe, who has who is like
Mhm.
the oldest 15-year-old I think I've ever seen in my life. That's not offensive. I don't mean to be rude about it,
Not at all.
but
Not
he
at
has the
all.
coloring of a teenager still. And it's unique. I really haven't seen that on too many human beings. So kudos, I
Yeah.
guess. So he was the commissioner. Now he's not.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And he's Gabby's brother who held the gun on Lee.
Okay.
Their brother and sister. Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
It,
Okay.
it,
And then
it's a soap opera.
does Wendy and Lee, do they know each other? Do they like each other?
Wendy and Lee are brother and sister.
Okay. Great.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm figuring it out, everybody.
Yes.
I know Wendy because she picked Trip over Johnny. Or something.
Yes. Trip is Patch's son,
Okay.
but not Kayla's son.
Okay.
Trip is Patch's son with Ava Vitale. who is currently locked up in a mental institute,
That
played by
is,
Tamara Braun.
yes. Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
she is locked up in Bayview, and she's coming back. Harris is going to see her. She's back first week in August.
Hey, confirmed 100% soapoperanews.net. Check it out.
Yes, it is 100% confirmed. And it's really fun with this because the breakdowns that came out for that week said Harris runs into a familiar face. So I'm wondering, is that just a tongue-in-cheek thing because of the Jason and Carly General Hospital thing, or do Harris and Ava have a history? That's going to be interesting to see.
As it
So,
turns out, they're really Johnny DiMera's parents.
yeah.
Anything is possible here in Days of Our Lives. It doesn't matter if we watched Johnny's mother give birth to him.
Here's what's funny. I'm going to give you a little bit of a history with that. So EJ is Johnny's father, and Sammy Brady, Greg Vaughn, Eric's twin sister, Sammy,
Okay.
is his mother.
Okay.
Now, Johnny has a twin sister, Allie Horton.
Okay.
EJ is not her father. Her father is Lucas. Sammy got pregnant with twins by two different men.
On the same, she went from one bed into the other, ovulated 2 eggs, and here we got 2 babies, 2 different baby daddies. It's a soap opera. It's a Jerry Springer plot line. It's here. I'm with it. That is also super wild. I love that. That is awesome.
Yep. So Johnny is Sammy and EJ's, and Allie is Sammy and Lucas's.
Oh man. Just the loosey goosey way that we talk about the show is just the same as what we do on the 10th floor too, because we spent like 30 seconds on John and Steve before now we're talking about how Johnny came into existence. Oh my goodness gracious. I did what is it? Oh gosh, I had something in my brain, but now it's gone. Whatever, who cares? Who cares? I'm not the teacher here. Oh, there was a question here from Melissa. Is John still Stefano's brother, or did that change?
No, I don't think John is still Stefano's brother, but
Well,
I will tell you, I will confirm that in a second.
Where the research machines are being fired up at the very moment.
Yes.
We are flipping through the pages of the textbook. It only cost us $650 at the student bookstore.
Yes.
As we sit here in Salem University, which I have not confirmed exists, but I assume it does.
Oh, of course it does, because, it's
a soap opera. Of course, there's a college in town.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sammy was blackmailed into sleeping with EJ after she slept with her fiance Lucas.
Yes.
Oh my God. Let's not blackmail each other into making babies. Yeah, let's not do that. Old Carly. Yeah. Oh, come on. Previous Carly.
Yes.
Previous Carly.
No, John and Stefano are no longer siblings, although his adoptive brother is Lawrence Salem.
There we go. 100% confirmed. Angela wasn't going to say it unless it wasn't true.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I love that though. I do. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I mean, let's just be real, I mean, this is a General Hospital channel mostly. GH doesn't do that nonsense. They try to keep it, when it comes to the medical stuff, of course, it's a hospital thing. They try to at least sort of keep it with its feet on the ground. Sort of.
January of this year, Kate, Marlena, and Kayla all died.
Yes, I remember that was a big deal.
On screen.
Because everybody thought that might be it for Marlena. What did they do?
They were shown in heaven.
Yes, an afterlife, right?
Yes. And then it turned out that Megan just had them.
They weren't even in heaven. They were just dreaming.
Yeah, it was crazy. But that's Days.
That's Days. So
and we love it.
It's like I gotta get a little dude for the logo. That's just like
yeah. It's Days. What do you want me to say?
I know Johnny is Sammy and EJ's Don't Make Me Fight You. Melissa, just because we don't have Chandra in here to simmer everybody down. Oh, okay. Oh, so I did a poll before we started, and 60% of the people that participated said that they think that Rachel should wind up with her dad. 60% says dad, but that still says 40% wants to see Rachel with mama.
Mhm.
But it seems like that's probably going to be what his case, because he's like, I've had enough of you, and then he's like, and then he puts it like a gun to her belly, and he's like, I'm going to shoot you, and then like the little girl's watching the whole time from the secret tunnel in the house. Sure. She's just skipping around the whole thing, going, oh, oh,
Yeah.
oh, they're having a sleepover, mommy. Oh, let me call the cops on my dad. He's just threatening my mom. Just what a crazy little girl, and I absolutely love it. Oh, you know what I promised to talk about that we didn't was Jerry. There we go. That's what it was. All right. I absolutely love this Jerry thing. I am blown away with the fact that they have, there's a different Theo. You know, this kid was like a squirt or something, like a little boy playing Theo.
Mhm.
And then they're like, Theo is no longer a little child. He is now a college-aged man. And so they Sorazed him.
Yes.
And now they've reached to this kid and they're like, we need you to play Jerry. And we're going to we're going to make Abe think that you're Theo.
Mhm.
And I am blown away by that, just by the conversation that was had by the writers, I guess, to even come up with
Mhm.
that. Like, what's that guy up to? What's he doing? You think
Yeah.
he's available?
Yeah. Days embraces its history.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that I thought that was a really fun twist as well, that they brought back old
Old
Theo to
Theo.
play Jerry playing
I'm sure
Theo.
chat will tell us his name in a moment. Uh,
Oh, Terrell Ransom plays Theo now.
oh,
Wait,
we're
no,
not going to wait for chat. Oh, this is because, you see, what I'm used to is Angela providing the answers in the chat
I
as she
know,
does
right?
this
I
very
know, I'm
thing during the
horrible.
10th floor podcast.
I do.
Oh, Jeannie thinks
I
that Rachel should live with her
Yeah.
parents, John and Marlene. But you said that those people just need to rest. Just let them
They
have this.
deserve their golden years.
Yes.
Okay, so Cameron Johnson plays Theo now, and
Yes.
Terrell Ransom Jr. plays Jerry,
Jerry.
pretending to be Theo.
Jerry Prentice. Now
Yes.
he's at the train station, and then he got threatened, punk. I'm gonna bust you up the face, punk. Okay, all right, back to
Yeah.
that. I am simultaneously wanting to laugh, and I'm also like actually afraid for my life when it comes to these two.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Uh, just
I laugh at them all the time, but also sure that they could kick my ass.
anyway.
So
So is this kid done? He's hopped on the train. He's done. Or I mean, I feel like the story's wrapping up. They're gonna find Abe in no
yeah,
time,
I'm
right?
pretty sure he's gonna be gone soon if he's not ever. Or if he's, not already, if this was already it. So yeah, they're wrapping up the story. I'm pretty sure Abe will be found next week, possibly the beginning of the week after, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
What the heck?
Lots of fun things happening this week.
Okay.
Day's
Okay.
promo comes out on Friday nights,
Okay.
and we have a double wedding starting at the end of the week.
Oh, a double wedding. Okay. Well, who's getting married?
Gabby and Stefan.
Okay, I met them. They were having they were I don't know, they were talking. I was not invested in what was happening there, so I can't really recall what it was about.
And don't get invested. She's already stopped filming. She's gone in a couple months.
Spoiler alert.
And she announced it that her last filming was the end of April. So we all know. And Stefan, or I'm sorry, Dimitri and Gwen.
Oh,
Gwen
Dimitri
and
and Gwen. That's right.
Dimitri.
That's right.
And yes.
Take my shirt off. What's happening? You're straight. No, I'm gay. You're gay. I'm gay. They bone, and then he's like, "Well, maybe we should get married." It's like, I can't do that. Gwen's your best friend. She
Yes.
is. Ugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is going to be an interesting dynamic when it all comes out. I don't know. So, because Dimitri has to stay married to Gwen for a year, and it has to look real.
So basically, just wait, Leo. Just wait. Just give him 12 months. That's all. You don't have to get involved now. Just wait.
Yeah,
That's
no.
the logical
Leo's
decision.
already sprung. Yeah, no, Leo's fun. And Leo, he writes for the local newspaper,
Hmm.
Spectator, that Gwen,
Is he like the gossip columnist or something?
he is.
Of course
His
he is.
gossip column is called Lady Whistleblower.
Okay.
Everybody knows it's him, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Ask Man Landers.
Yes.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna. I guess a thruple is what Twitter was saying before, where they're like,
I think that's what it's going to be because I don't think that Dimitri is just, I don't think he's just gay. I think he's bi
so instead of a
because
thruple, maybe
he
it's
had
just a
lots and lots of sex with
polyamorous,
Gwen, too. So
a
I think they
polyamorous
might end up
dynamic.
doing a thruple type
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I mean, the throuple would imply that Gwen and Leo would also be involved, and I don't know if that. I don't know if that's the case. So we just polyamory. I think maybe
Yeah.
we're Dimitri,
Yes.
and everybody
They
knows.
share Dimitri.
Gwen
Yes.
Gwen isn't too bothered by it, even though she's sad.
Yes. And they all move into the DiMera mansion so they can continue to annoy EJ.
So how many rooms are in the DiMera mansion? Because it seems as though
72,000.
every plot could be happening in that house at the exact same time. It's either happening
9
in Salem
gazillion.
Town Square or in the DiMera house.
Yeah. 9 gazillion rooms in the DiMera mansion. It's
And who owns it and who gave it to her? Is it Kristen?
Well, Stefan and EJ argue over it because it was Stefan's, and then when he died, ownership reverted to EJ, but then Stefan came back to life. So
we both own it together. That's for the
it
judge
may
to
end up
figure out.
just being Rachel.
Normal rooms
Right,
are secret rooms as well. Ha.
So many secrets. I do not understand why on this show they don't, anytime anybody goes missing, they don't look in the wine cellar at the DiMera mansion.
Just first.
That's usually where they're going to be.
It's like Salem PD is like, all right, we get a list of our usual specs here.
Mhm.
Okay. First, check the DiMera house. Great. Second, all of the DiMera house.
Yes.
Don't let them guide you through, you bulldoze all the way through.
Yes. And it has like the most obvious entrance, that big circular thing on the sideboard that you press down and the door swings open. It's so great. Yeah. I love it. I do. I love the campiness of this show. I can't say it enough.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it because really the height of the campiness has been the crazy nurse pretending to be Paulina. I mean, Jack Harry cannot do anything that isn't camp. So Paulina is just a joy to watch. Even in her serious moments, I guess she was talking, I don't remember, Rafe, I guess she was talking to, I don't remember. But even in like those moments where it's supposed to like bring that serious energy, she still finds herself just falling into his chest.
Yes. Yeah. I think she's been a great addition to the show. I think she fits perfectly into this canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So, and her and Abe are a good pair too, because he's very cut and dried, and she's Jack A.
She's Jack A. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, she is Jack A. She's never anything but Jack A, right?
Yes.
And you said in our preliminary chats that she lives in apartment 227.
She does. Her and Abe live in apartment 227.
Yeah.
Days does a lot of fun things, a lot of fun throwbacks.
Mm-hmm.
When Whitley was first giving Abe his fake backstory that she had created, she said that he had owned an ice cream shop. And James Reynolds played a character on Generations he was the ice cream shop owner.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks ago, when Abe figured out that Theo was not Theo, because he saw his son on an episode of Body and Soul, and was like, what the hell? And he fast forwarded to the credits.
Mm-hmm.
And he saw that his name was Jerry Prentice.
Yes.
But they also flashed through the other credits. And like, because they've used the actors that are on Days of Our Lives for these characters on this fake soap opera. But what they listed their names as, like Mary Beth Evans, who plays Kayla and was also Cassandra, they said that her name was Catherine Bell.
Okay.
That was the character she played on General Hospital.
Okay. Okay.
Or
Catherine Bell, Cody Bell. Is there a connection? Sorry.
yes, kind of. But I'll explain that off screen because that's GH. So
Right.
Steve Nichols, they said, played Thrust, but the name they gave him was Tucker McCall because that had been his character on The Young and the Restless.
Okay. Okay. That's fun.
Which was
That's
fun.
fun. That's really
And
fun.
they did for Marlena, for Charlemagne, they did her character from Our House.
Uh-huh.
And then for Drake, they did his character from Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I think it's hysterical.
That's
And
awesome. That's
for
super
Kate, for Lauren Coslow, they did her character from Bold and the Beautiful. And Days does that stuff. They just the little Easter egg fun.
That's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And just the concept of the soap within the soap, I thought was also brilliant. I really enjoy the fact that the soap is somehow set in 1998, 1992.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, somewhere in the 90s, maybe late 80s, early 90s. It's All My Children, I guess, to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Pineview, I think, is the place or something. I mean,
Yep.
I thought that was great, and I don't know. There was also a point in time too where they spent so much time on it that I was like watching TV as Abe.
Mm-hmm.
Like they spent a lot of time on it, and they also like had a special framing for it so they can keep it in the correct aspect ratio for the time period it was supposed to be in, and
Right.
just focused on that TV set on the set. So long, but also like I was drawn into it just as if I was watching Days of Our Lives. I'm like, what's going on between these two people? They're fighting, and I don't see Jerry coming through here. Like the reason why that we're exploring this thing is because Jerry came through. He's not in this scene. Why are we watching this with Abe? But whatever, I'm in.
And it was fun how they wove it through other stories too, because like when Lonnie and her husband Eli were going over the evidence about Abe, and she noticed that Jerry had been on Body and Soul, she started teasing Eli because he used to watch it when he was working nights and home during the day, when he was a cop, when they were both on the police force. And then when Wendy and Trip were snuggling on the couch the other night, they were watching it.
Right.
So it's fun how they did that, I thought. So.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I love that. I really do. I do. I do. I love that. I love this. I love Days of Our Lives. I love everything that I've seen so far. So this, I guess the last thing that we can talk about, I suppose, would be understanding how to refer to these super couples going forward. Is it Jarlena?
It is Jarlena.
Is it Stella?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I just guessed.
You did.
Look at me. Look at me. Is that
I
all there
know.
is? Or is there other like smash
Bope.
names out there that Bope?
Bope.
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 I think so. Bo, I think, is a character's name that I've heard of before. Clearly, I didn't see it these last 2 weeks, but I think Bo as a soap character. I don't know if it was Days Bo or like a Young and the Restless Bo or something, but there's a Bo. There's a Bo that I know.
You'll like this smush name too for Stefan and Gabby. Their fans called them Stabby.
Stabby. Oh, that's good. Do they stab people though? Do they kill people? Because that would be perfect.
Well, he's a DiMera, and she actually killed her first husband. Shot and killed, as she told Lee the other day.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat asked if James Reynolds had been in the group The Commodores. He was not.
Okay.
Sheldon Reynolds was a guitarist for them, but James Reynolds was not in the Commodores, no.
Okay, all right, confirmed here. 100%. Like, you can't deny it. Don't argue. Please don't argue. Please don't. Ejami?
Yes, Ejami for EJ and Sammy.
And Sammy.
Or
Ejami.
Lumi. And Lumi is Lucas and Sammy.
Okay.
Eric Cole for Eric and Nicole.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm
They
just gonna have to
for everything.
click some hashtags is what I'm gonna do.
Yes. Briston is Brady and Kristen.
Okay. Briston.
So yeah.
Oh, Brady. Okay, so Brady's first name is Brady.
Yes, his last name is Black.
Brady Black. But then there's the family who has the last name of Brady. So
Brady.
was it one of those, I named my kid Brady
It was an
because
right, like Nicholas Castine's son's name is Spencer.
Yes.
For his brother and sister.
They did something to All My Children too, something like that. I think Liza named her kid something. It was somebody's last name. I don't remember right now. Whatever. My mom would know. E. Joel, Nicole doesn't deserve Eric, says Melissa. Okay, I don't know. I will either agree or disagree with you. Maybe in several weeks, we'll find out
Yes.
here, uh, as we
It
continue
looks
to
like
explore Days of Our Lives.
it looks like this week as well, Eric's going to find out that Sloan messed with the paternity test.
Well,
Because Nicole and EJ and Eric think that EJ is the father. And EJ may still be the father because all Sloan did was swab her own cheek so that Eric's came up negative, and they never tested EJ
gotcha.
because there were only two contenders.
It just gets so thick.
It's a soap opera.
Uh,
So
well, Melissa thinks that eventually over time I will agree with her because she knows me so well because we're best friends. Fist bump. Nicola's Nina. I don't know what any of this means. I'm really looking forward to figuring it out. Um, here in the coming weeks. I mean, it's a good spot here. Right here is good. A lot of valuable information. I mean, I could just randomly spout off just random thoughts and musings for the next 27 hours if I wanted to. But I think a solid hour is good for here in the introduction to
starting.
Days for Dummies. And then, as this goes on, as we settle into, exploring the world that is Salem, we'll find our regular routine, our regular groove, as it will be less educational of, well, this is who this is, and this is why this matters. And then the name Kristen. Okay, so that's the blonde lady. It'll be less like that and more just talking about what's up, I'm sure. So that's it. Thanks for coming.
And if you guys have any questions, please
Yes,
send them to us on Twitter or
because I'm gonna have a million of them, and I'm
yeah.
sure you all might have some. And if you don't, think of some anyway. That's what we're here for. We're here for all you dummies out there.
Absolutely. New viewers or old forgetful viewers? Older
Well, the show's
forgetful.
been on for like 58 years, right? So there's a lot to forget.
You're gonna forget things. I forget things that happened yesterday.
I mean, I don't even know what's happening before, so we're good. I can't wait for Matt's Days voice impressions. I'll probably get there. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I'm
got
thinking
this
a
down,
lot
right?
of John Black is
Do I got
coming.
this down?
Well, for John, you're gonna have to work on the eyebrow.
Oh, see, this eyebrow is
Drake
pretty
has a
immobile
he's
because
got a very distinctive.
I would love to be able to do like a Robert Scorpio, but it's hard. Anyway, for my head. Twitter handle. My Twitter handle is 10th floor GH. Her Twitter handle is like Brooklyn74 or something.
Brooklyn 74.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why Brooklyn74? Just because you like Brooklyn?
My
Because it's
middle name
spelled
is Brooke.
Brooklyn, right? Like the character?
Yes. It has nothing to do with GH actually. My middle name is Brooke. My best friend from since sixth grade's middle name is Lynn.
Oh, so it's a
So we
happy
jokingly
coincidence.
used to do a Brooklyn thing. It was our joke.
Right.
And my birth year is 74. I'm
Oh,
old.
okay. All right.
So it's Brooklyn 74. It's always been my online screen name.
Right. And also,
BROOKELYN.
yes. And then also Soap Opera News with two S's.
Yes. Well, soapoperanews.net is just one for
Right.
our website, but
Right.
for
For the
the
Twitter.
Twitter, it's Soap Opera News with two S's. Yes.
And if you look at the
Yep.
lower right-hand screen, corner of the screen, you can see it written out 10th floor GH and Soap Opera News for your reference.
Yes.
Two S's, one N. But it's there in the lower right-hand corner. Hopefully it's not covered by something, because if it is, I'm sorry.
Mine is two N's, Kelly.
Oh, there we go. See, look at that.
Yep. Brooklyn.
You know what she's talking. I don't know what anybody's talking about. Jeannie's middle name is Lynn. My middle name is David. I'm getting out of here. I'm
right.
out of here. Class is over. Class dismissed. Get back out on the nut quad. Go party. Go play. Go drink. Clone somebody. Just do some wackadoodle day stuff.
And we will reconvene class
probably next
a week from now. Yeah,
for sure. I don't see why not. All right, goodbye, everybody. Thanks for coming. Get out.
Thanks, guys. This was fun.
Okay.